No deal. Prosecutors say a plea bargain with two former East Cleveland police officers is off the table tonight.
That bribery case now appears to be headed to trial. News 5 investigator Scott Knoll has followed this case from the very beginning. He joins us here in studio. Scott, to break down all of this and explain what's going on.
Yeah, it started when one of those former officers, DeMarco Johnson, said he wanted out of the plea deal, arguing he didn't have a full picture of the evidence when he pleaded guilty earlier this year. Former East Cleveland police officer DeMarco Johnson now headed to trial instead of facing sentencing for bribery. Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Judge Maureen Clancy allowed Johnson to back out of a January guilty plea after Johnson's new attorney argued the lawyer who represented Johnson during that plea reviewed only a fraction of the evidence prosecutors collected in the case.
How can you say that Mr. Johnson was advised by counsel to make a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary plea? His counsel had not even looked at all of the discovery, not even close.
Prosecutors say Johnson and another former East Cleveland officer, Von Harris, accepted hundreds of dollars from an undercover FBI informant in exchange for falsified police reports during the summer of 2018. Court records identify that informant as George Michael Riley, a former operator of the Arco recycling plant in East Cleveland. State investigators say Riley illegally operated the landfill. While a judge ordered him to pay more than $30 million in penalties, cleanup, and interest, Riley was not criminally charged in the case. In court earlier this month, Johnson's attorney questioned Riley's credibility as a key witness against the officers. But prosecutors painted Johnson's motivation as something else, telling a judge he only asked out of the plea deal after prosecutors requested a judge sentence him to prison.
I believe that timing is very telling to the motivations here, as it shows defendant Johnson's, this is just a change of heart.
Von Harris, the other former officer, also pleaded guilty in this case, but because this was a so-called package plea, this means both men now head to trial. Instead of one count of bribery, they'll face 3 counts along with insurance fraud and tampering with records charges. Courtney, that trial's set for August.
All right, thanks so much, Scott. We appreciate you following up.